Old people are useless. Yep, you heard it. Old people are useless. So what is going on? How am I, as the founder of a community that supports entrepreneurs over 50 to live a greater life, how am I sitting here saying that old people are useless? Well, I'm deliberately calling out some of the BS, limiting stories that run our world. Okay. And with our community, we come across it time and again, this notion that they hit up against this wall of unconscious judgment, of unconscious assumption that once you get past 50, that's it. You are old, you are done, you're over the hill. And, we deliberately fly in the face of this. We say, screw being over the hill, let's go and climb some mountains. And genuinely, one of our community members has indeed climbed Kilimanjaro twice in her 60s. All right. Now, why am I sharing this? Why am I kind of deliberately calling out these unconscious stories? Okay. Well, because for you right now, you have some unconscious stories and they could literally be killing you. All right. And the example here I'm going to share is actually my dad. Like my dad, love him to bits. I think he's like 75 now. So he's getting on a bit. But for about the last 6 or 7 years, he has basically been in I am in a useless old man mode. He's been telling himself that story. And he's starting to be the living proof. Like the other day, he couldn't even work out how to steam some vegetables. And yet, he knows how to do that. He knows how to cook vegetables. And it's been fascinating to kind of watch him choose certain stories. Now, on the flip side, take Steve, who's a member of our community. Steve is 64, 65, Mike? 64. The dude does Ironman triathlons. That's what, running a marathon, cycling 100 miles or something. I couldn't do that. I'd literally be dead. So we have these two people who are not vastly different. And yet the results that they create in their life based upon the stories they believe about themselves are polar poles apart, right? So this got me thinking, where am I actually telling some stories that could be really limiting? And the same for you. And for me, that one of the biggest ones has been over the years, that I don't have anything valuable to offer. And that now that I get to see my life through the lens of ADHD and neurodivergence, to see that all these times I may have failed to kind of fully follow through on something, etc. Right? That didn't mean I had no value to offer, and it didn't mean that I was somehow lacking. It simply meant I was still finding my groove. And that's my question for you: is right now in your life, there are some stories you're telling yourself about what you're capable of in your health. There are some stories you're telling yourself about your purpose, about what's possible, about maybe even your connection to God or some kind of spirituality. There are some stories you're telling yourself about what happens in relationships, about whether you're a good lover or a bad lover or any of that sort of stuff. There are some stories about what you're capable of in terms of business, in terms of the impact you're able to make with your customers. And my invitation is to consider that all of these are just that, stories. And that at any moment, you have the capacity, the choice, the power of choice to choose to tell a different story through your thoughts, your words, your deeds, your actions. All right? So today, what are some of these unconscious stories you've been telling yourself? And what would a greater story look like? And if you were to tell that greater story, what might be possible? See you next time.